The best and most beautiful things in the world cannot be seen or even touched. They must be felt with the heart. Alone we can do so little, together we can do so much. Keep your face to the sunshine, and you cannot see a shadow. Optimism is the faith that leads to achievement. Nothing can be done without hope and confidence. Never bend your head. Always hold it high. Look the world straight in the eye. Character cannot be developed in ease and quiet. Only through experience of trial and suffering can the soul be strengthened, ambition inspired, and success achieved. What we have once enjoyed, we can never lose. All that we love deeply becomes a part of us. Walking with a friend in the dark is better than walking alone in the light. I do not want the peace which passeth understanding. I want the understanding which bringeth peace. Everything has its wonders, even darkness and silence, and I learn, whatever state I may be in, therein to be content. Life is a succession of lessons which must be lived to be understood. Death is no more than passing from one room into another. But there's a difference for me, you know, because in that other room I shall be able to see. The only thing worse than being blind is having sight but no vision. Knowledge is love and light and vision. No pessimist ever discovered the secret of the stars, or sailed to an uncharted land, or opened a new heaven to the human spirit. Avoiding danger is no safer in the long run than outright exposure. The fearful are caught as often as the bold. Security is mostly a superstition. Life is either a daring adventure or nothing. The highest result of education is tolerance. Instead of comparing our lot with that of those who are more fortunate than we are, we should compare it with the lot of the great majority of our fellow men. It then appears that we are among the privileged. We could never learn to be brave and patient if there were only joy in the world. I rejoice to live in such a splendidly disturbing time. Many persons have a wrong idea of what constitutes true happiness. It is not attained through self-gratification, but through fidelity to a worthy purpose. Life is an exciting business, and most exciting when it is lived for others. Self-pity is our worst enemy, and if we yield to it, we can never do anything wise in this world. One can never consent to creep when one feels an impulse to soar. Toleration is the greatest gift of the mind. It requires the same effort of the brain that it takes to balance oneself on a bicycle. I long to accomplish a great and noble task, but it is my chief duty to accomplish small tasks as if they were great and noble. So long as the memory of certain beloved friends lives in my heart, I shall say that life is good. Your success and happiness lies in you. Resolve to keep happy and your joy, and you shall form an invincible host against difficulties. Although the world is full of suffering, it is also full of the overcoming of it. Love is like a beautiful flower which I may not touch, but whose fragrance makes the garden a place of delight just the same. True happiness is not attained through self-gratification, but through fidelity to a worthy purpose. When we do the best that we can, we never know what miracle is wrought in our life or in the life of another. We can do anything we want to if we stick to it long enough. What I am looking for is not out there, it is in me. Until the great mass of the people shall be filled with a sense of responsibility for each other's welfare, social justice can never be attained. It is wonderful how much time good people spend fighting the devil. If they would only expend the same amount of energy loving their fellow men, the devil would die in his own tracks of ennui. Life is either a great adventure or nothing. There is no king who has not had a slave among his ancestors, and no slave who has not had a king among his. The world is moved along, not only by the mighty shoves of its heroes, but also by the aggregate of tiny pushes of each honest worker. Once I knew only darkness and stillness. My life was without past or future, but a little word from the fingers of another fell into my hand that clutched at emptiness, and my heart leaped to the rapture of living. The marvelous richness of human experience would lose something of rewarding joy if there were no limitations to overcome. The hilltop hour would not be half so wonderful if there were no dark valleys to traverse. No one has a right to consume happiness without producing it. Unless we form the habit of going to the Bible in bright moments, as well as in trouble, we cannot fully respond to its consolations, because we lack equilibrium between light and darkness. Faith is the strength by which a shattered world shall emerge into the light. As the eagle was killed by the arrow winged with his own feather, so the hand of the world is wounded by its own skill. To me, a lush carpet of pine needles or spongy grass is more welcome than the most luxurious Persian rug. It's wonderful to climb the liquid mountains of the sky. Behind me and before me is God, and I have no fears. Of all the senses, sight must be the most delightful. Strike against war, for without you, no battles can be fought. We may have found a cure for most evils, but we have found no remedy for the worst of them all, the apathy of human beings. I seldom think about my limitations, and they never make me sad. Perhaps there is just a touch of yearning at times, but it is vague, like a breeze among flowers. As selfishness and complaint pervert the mind, so love with its joy clears and sharpens the vision. What a blind person needs is not a teacher, but another self. I can see, and that is why I can be happy, in what you call the dark, but which to me is golden. I can see a God-made world, not a man-made world. College isn't the place to go for ideas. No matter how dull, or how mean, or how wise a man is, he feels that happiness is his indisputable right. People do not like to think. If one thinks, one must reach conclusions. Conclusions are not always pleasant. The heresy of one age becomes the orthodoxy of the next. It is for us to pray not for tasks equal to our powers, but for powers equal to our tasks, to go forward with a great desire forever beating at the door of our hearts as we travel toward our distant goal. Many people know so little about what is beyond their short range of experience. They look within themselves and find nothing. Therefore, they conclude that there is nothing outside themselves either. Literature is my utopia. Here I am not disenfranchised. No barrier of the senses shuts me out from the sweet, gracious discourses of my book friends. They talk to me without embarrassment or awkwardness. My share of the work may be limited, but the fact that it is work makes it precious. It is hard to interest those who have everything in those who have nothing. It is not possible for civilization to flow backwards while there is youth in the world. Youth may be headstrong, but it will advance it allotted length. Smell is a potent wizard that transports you across thousands of miles and all the years you have lived. The above are the life wisdom quotes for this episode. Which quote is your favorite? Please leave a comment to tell us. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. See you next time.